Today's episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. You know, DraftKings, baby. When we talking safe, secure, reliable, when we talking about the number one app for sports betting, this is what we talking about, baby. The one and only DraftKings. And yes, they are phenomenal because there are all those things that we talked about. And more importantly, they give you a lot of opportunities to win, whether you're talking same game parlays, whether you're talking even their fantasy football that they have a ton of options for you to get a chance to make a little moolah. And with that, they even have promo codes, which makes it even better because with this promo code, Deke, if you use the promo code MOATS, when you sign up, you make that deposit for $5, you're going to get $200 in DraftKings bonus or deposit bonus money, on that one, which essentially is just free money for you to use trying to make more money. It's a lovely concept, isn't it? And that is also why we love DraftKings. But at the same time, Deke, unfortunately, not everybody can handle this type of lifestyle. Not everybody can handle taking chances on making money. Some people might have a gambling problem.
It's sad.
Deke, some people, they might even need crisis counseling.
Hate to see it.
Shoot, I might even know some people that need referral services.
Happens.
Now, being that I used to live in New York, there is a number that you can call or text if you're in the New York area. But for everybody else, though, you just got to call 1-800-GAMBLER. I said 1-800-GAMBLER.
I got to read this one real quick.
Who you got, man?
Because there's some rumors going around right now. Jay Flame says, Najee, the power back. Tuning in from the 330 Warren, Ohio. Shout out Moats and Deke. There's some rumors that Najee watched the TG segment before that game.
All I'm saying,
took out his frustration on Richie Grant. All I'm saying
is, when we did the space talk yesterday, Deke, it was a lot of people looking at you and TG.
Me?
They was looking at both of y'all because of how that segment went. And I was like, yep, I can understand it. So, yeah, both of those guys, Deke and TG, yeah. Y'all hold them accountable, man.
Listen.
Keep hope alive, man. Keep hope alive. They was trying to turn the page on you, Najee. They was trying to go to Benny Snell on you, man. They was talking about some Jalen Warren on you, man. You know what I'm saying? They talk about hey, give me Anthony McFarland, man. No. Don't you do that.
I will say, I'm sorry. I think I need one of those apology forms. But in my defense, compared to TG, he took it to another level. He was moving on from TG next year. I mean, we're trading him in the offseason. He wanted McFarland over Najee.
You at least wanted to keep him on the roster, keep him around. He was like,
I just wanted him to get healthy.
I
think my main thing was I just wanted the running game to hit its ceiling this year. Whether it was Najee or not, I didn't care. I just thought the running game looked better for the most part at times without Najee. The Colts game was a good example with Benny Snell, and then we've seen flashes from Jalen Warren throughout the season. But the Najee we saw in the Atlanta game, it doesn't make sense because he was hurt this week, DNP, and he looked healthier than ever. He looked faster than ever.
He did.
So if we're getting this Najee, forget the other running backs. Now I'm flipping it. Everything I said about Benny Snell, I'm saying about Najee Harris right now.
Don't you love just the beauty of the journey, man? Some of the highs and the lows like this? Because now we can say, man, yay, I can understand where y'all were at. I can definitely understand that. And trust me, I'm not about to be in here beating my chest because we definitely know, as we've seen this year, inconsistency has been a part of why Najee has even had this conversation surrounding him. So I do hope that he's able to build upon this because this is very different than what we just saw Monday night. And that's the other part of it. We're literally talking a week's difference. And
he
it's just
knocked
night
out of the game.
and day.
Is he actually gonna play?
It's
hurt.
Night and day, man. Yeah.
This is the healthiest he's looked.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for Najee that he continues with this, but I think more so the reason why he has success, but more so why the running game has been successful is more so really to the offensive line. You look at them these past 4 games coming out the bye, they've won a lot more at the line of scrimmage. They've been able to control the line of scrimmage in terms of winning grass in the run game in particular. They've continued to take strides in the passing game as well, but I do feel like that's why not just Najee's numbers have been so impressive running the ball, but even when you look at Benny Snell and Jalen Warren yesterday, granted, they didn't have as many attempts, but they still were very productive every time they touched the ball in that backfield because of how consistent the offensive line is getting. So that's the other part where I'm hoping for Najee that this is just him finally getting back healthier and healthier and healthier. Excuse me, and we'll see more performance like what we saw yesterday versus what we saw from him on Monday night.
Some of that burst that we saw in yesterday's game, that has to be some of the stuff that you saw in training camp, right? And in the offseason.
More, not necessarily training camp, because in training camp, he obviously hurt his foot. I think it was like that second week.
OTAs,
but it was more so OTAs mini camp. That was what we saw. And that was why, even though I would talk about how he was a larger guy, it was like, he's not fat. He still looks explosive. He still has great contact balance. He still looks the part. In fact, he looks like he's more powerful. But obviously, once he got hurt, we didn't realize the significance of it because of how they downplayed it. So the whole time in training camp, everybody's expectation is it's going to look like what it did in OTAs and minicamp. But obviously it didn't. That version yesterday was very close to what we were thinking we were going to get for the full season because of the power, because of the toughness, the durability, the stiff arm, him having his game based on power versus trying to dance around and be a, make you miss type of guy. So that was the version that we were anticipating. So that was also why I've been holding on to it for so long, in the sense of, yeah, man, just give him another chance, because I do feel like he is capable of that. Now, the pros and cons are that's going to keep his shelf life very short. He was taking some shots yesterday. That's going to cut it down. It's a part of doing business, though. So for him, he has to understand that the most effective version of me is that. But that's also going to expedite the length, or excuse me, the end of my career potentially, because of the amount of shots I'm taking. You just got to deal with it, I hope he lasts longer than, the average, but that is...
Yeah, you have an outlier.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry could become something like that.
But I'm like, for every Derrick Henry, I look at a Gurley and I look at Zeke, and I'm like, both of them dudes, as long as they went on, they slowed down. L. Bell slowed down. And those guys weren't even getting hit as flush as we've seen Najee get hit in this first 2 years. So that's the part where I'm just like, yeah, it's going to take some of that off. But, man, if you light it up for as long as you can, if it's 2, if it's 3 years, all right, cool. But just give us that, because we going with that. And that's something that we also can hang our hat on, too. That version right there, that's an easier model to replicate versus Najee, jump over this guy this week. Najee, shake this guy this week. Like, you're not getting a ton of that back-to-back. But what you can get a ton of is him putting his head down and running through guys, even when it's not blocked up. You think about that last run that he had where he picks up the 5 yards to set up the 3rd and 5, right? And then obviously we end up having an incompletion and we punt it after that. Man, when he gets hit, he's right at the line of scrimmage, almost like a 1 yard gain. But because of that physicality and just turning his legs, he's able to pick up 5 on it. That's the type of stuff that you can replicate. That doesn't take a lot of extra going on. That's just something that we can hang our hat on and say, yeah, you can be that type of runner. So I'm hoping that we get more of this. Keep it going, please.
Yeah, overall, the running game was beautiful.
Because that makes everything a lot better with our offense, man.